The Epic of Gilgamesh, a 10-minute historical storytelling experience. Chapter 1, The King of Uruk. In the ancient land of Mesopotamia, between the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, there stood the mighty city of Uruk. Its walls were tall, its temples grand, and its king unmatched in strength. His name was Gilgamesh, 2/3 god, 1/3 man. Gilgamesh was powerful beyond measure. He built magnificent structures and led his people to glory, but his strength came with arrogance. He ruled harshly, exhausting his people with endless labor and claiming privileges no king should take. The citizens cried out to the gods for relief. They prayed for balance, and the gods listened. To challenge Gilgamesh, they decided to create an equal, a force of nature who could rival the king himself. And so, destiny began to move. Chapter 2, The Wild Man Enkidu. From clay and divine breath, the gods formed Enkidu, a wild man covered in hair, living among animals, drinking from rivers, and running with gazelles. He was innocent, powerful, and untouched by civilization. When a hunter discovered Enkidu freeing animals from traps, fear spread to Uruk. Gilgamesh sent a temple woman to tame him. Through kindness, wisdom, and companionship, Enkidu slowly left the wilderness behind. He learned to eat bread, drink ale, and wear clothes. He became human in heart and mind. But when he heard of Gilgamesh's cruelty, anger burned within him. He journeyed to Uruk to confront the tyrant king. Two mighty forces were about to collide. Chapter 3, The Clash of Titans. When Enkidu arrived in Uruk, he blocked Gilgamesh's path. The ground trembled as the two heroes fought. They grappled like storms crashing against mountains. Walls shook, doors shattered. Neither could defeat the other. And in that moment of equal strength, something unexpected happened. Respect. Their battle ended not in death, but in laughter. Gilgamesh had finally met his match. Enkidu had found a brother. From rivalry was born one of the greatest friendships in literature. Together they would seek glory, not through oppression, but through adventure. Their first quest would take them deep into forbidden lands. Chapter 4, The Forest of Cedar. Seeking eternal fame, Gilgamesh proposed a daring journey to the sacred cedar forest, guarded by the monstrous giant Humbaba. Though warned by elders and haunted by dreams, the two friends pressed forward. The forest was dark and ancient, its trees towering like pillars of heaven, and there stood Humbaba, terrifying, powerful, appointed by the gods. With courage and teamwork, Gilgamesh and Enkidu fought the beast. The earth quaked beneath their blades. Humbaba begged for mercy, but ambition overcame compassion. They struck him down and cut the sacred cedars. Victory was theirs, but the gods were watching, and consequences were coming. Chapter 5, The Bull of Heaven. Their triumph angered the goddess Ishtar, who proposed marriage to Gilgamesh. But Gilgamesh rejected her, reminding her of the suffering of her past lovers. Humiliated and furious, Ishtar demanded revenge. She sent the Bull of Heaven to destroy Uruk. The beast brought famine and death. But once again, Gilgamesh and Enkidu stood together. They fought the divine creature and killed it. This act defied the gods themselves, and this time punishment would not wait. Chapter 6, The Price of Defiance. The gods convened in anger. Someone had to pay. Enkidu fell ill. His strength faded. The once wild warrior lay helpless, cursed by divine decree. For 12 days he suffered, mourning his fate and the loss of his dreams. Gilgamesh stayed by his side, powerless against death. And then Enkidu died. For the first time, Gilgamesh faced something he could not defeat. He wept bitterly. He wandered the palace in grief. His brother in arms was gone. And with that loss came a terrifying realization. If Enkidu could die, so could he. Chapter 7: The Fear of Death. Haunted by mortality, Gilgamesh abandoned his throne and journeyed into the wilderness. He sought the secret of eternal life. He searched for Utnapishtim, the only mortal granted immortality by the gods, survivor of a great flood sent to destroy humanity. Through mountains guarded by scorpion beings and tunnels of complete darkness, Gilgamesh pressed onward. He crossed the waters of death with the help of a ferryman. At last, he stood before Utnapishtim, and he asked the question that echoes through all humanity: how can I escape death? Chapter 8: The Great Flood. Utnapishtim told his story. Long ago, the gods decided to flood the world, but one god warned him in secret. He built a massive boat, sealed it with pitch, and brought his family and animals aboard. The storm raged, the world drowned. When the waters receded, Utnapishtim released birds to find land. Finally, he stepped onto dry ground and offered sacrifice. The gods regretted their destruction and granted him immortality. But the gift was unique. It would not be given again. Still, Utnapishtim offered Gilgamesh a test: stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights. Gilgamesh failed. Even in his quest for eternity, he remained human. Chapter 9: The Plant of Life. Before departing, Utnapishtim revealed a final secret: a plant beneath the sea that could restore youth. With renewed determination, Gilgamesh dove into the depths and retrieved it. At last, hope blossomed in his heart. He would bring it back to Uruk and share its power. But fate had one more lesson. While resting beside a pool, a serpent stole the plant and shed its skin as it slithered away, renewed, reborn. Gilgamesh was left with empty hands. The gift of eternal youth was never meant for him. Chapter 10: The Walls of Uruk. Defeated but wiser, Gilgamesh returned to Uruk. He looked upon the great walls he had built, the temples, the stones, the civilization he had shaped. He realized something profound. Immortality does not lie in escaping death. It lives in legacy. Gilgamesh would not live forever in body, but his story would endure through generations. His friendship, his grief, his journey, etched into clay tablets for thousands of years. And so ends the tale of Gilgamesh, the king who sought eternal life and discovered instead the meaning of being human. From the dust of Sumer, his voice still echoes, and as long as we tell his story, he never truly dies.